thank you. They always make these for non-6'5" people. So it's interesting. It's been a great show, and I see everybody with sunburned foreheads and sunburned faces from whether it was the golf or the axe throwing or the booze cruise. And I think everybody would agree it's great to see partners. It's great to be out again. It's great to have a bunch of our customers here today. But I think, piece of advice for Media Post, I think the next show, we actually need a sunscreen sponsor. You have? Okay. Mark that down. So I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about 5 requirements for success in this kind of next chapter of TV measurement. And I also want to implore, particularly the brands here, that world-class measurement in a cross-screen world is available today. It's not something that's into the future. It's not something that we read about in books and we only can dream about. It's here today, and we have over 400 brand customers that realize this every single day. Oh, I have a clicker. A little bit about iSpot, but I'm not here to make a sales pitch, although as David said, we certainly would welcome a sales pitch. iSpot's been around for about 10 years. We work with about half the top 100 brand advertisers on television. Anything from creative assessment, which you see at the top of the circle here. About a year and a half ago, we purchased Ace Metrics, and I know we have a bunch of Ace customers as well, and thank you very much for your business. As you did hear yesterday from Coldwell Banker, David Marine, the CMO, mentioned us quite nicely in saving $600,000 on a single campaign. That was a really nice shout out. And we help I think my point is we help advertisers save money and make more efficient buys across the board. The next circle you see kind of to the right is what's that next steps? We've been cataloging every single linear advertisement on TV in a syndicated manner, catalog it and measure it, and store it in the iSpot catalog for the past 10 years. So we have 10 years worth of ad catalog data. We are the airings source truth in the business, capture every single airing in real time, catalog it. Anything from impressions, spend, view through rate. We recently launched, last year, maybe 18 months ago, we launched what we call our unified measurement module, which allows us to do cross-screen, deduplicated reach and frequency, incrementality, and conversions from CTV streaming, as well as out-of-home and linear, and that kind of intersection, which is kind of the holy grail of what we really are looking for as marketers. And the last mile, like I like to call this, is kind of cradle-to-grave measurement, is business outcome measurement. This is very important, and we've heard it, we were very excited to hear this all week at this show, is that it's all about business outcomes. Brands advertise on TV for 2 reasons. One is brand impact, brand likability, and business outcomes, because at the end of the day, there's only really 2 reasons why you advertise on TV, and these are the 2 things that we capture. Anything from web conversions, in-store foot traffic. We work quite extensively in the retail world as well, looking at in-store sales data, location. We power and have partnerships throughout the entire ecosystem, and thank you for all your partners. We have a lot of partners here today. Powering MTA solutions, MMM. I think one takeaway from the iSpot data is here on the left, which is fast, accurate, and actionable. And let's talk about some of those things. So this currency transformation, right? It's on everybody's lips. We had a great roundtable with Ocean Media on the first day of the show where, lots of people talking about iSpot as currency. How does that work? And it's kind of scary, right? I mean, we see a lot of the headlines, Nielsen losing its MRC accreditation. Not only that happened, but then there was a second incident, and now yesterday, if you want to look this up, the VAB put out a letter to the industry, essentially insisting that Nielsen not bring this, quote, big data approach. They saw some major discrepancies in certain demos from the old methodology to the new methodology. And so this is a big thing in the industry, right? And we partner with NBCU, Warner Media, and others that are coming along as networks, and we see this convergence now where networks, agencies, and brands are all wanting to transact on alternative currency. And I think that I'll make an analogy where I was in the Houston airport, kind of down at one of these gates on the end. I'm like, man, I forgot my water, damn it. So I see a vending machine, it's like Aquafina, so there's Pepsi, so it's got Aquafina water in there, Pepsi, whatever. And I walk over and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So they take alternative currency, they take cash, they take a debit card, credit card, and they also take crypto at this machine. And I'm like, wow, this is nice. And so I would just say that for those that are nervous about this new currency push, it's here in a lot of different areas of the world, in different industries, and it's here to stay in the television world as well. And we're really excited about that. I always kind of think like an attendee, and why am I at this session? What's this guy talking about? I want to make it real easy because I know we're in the last day, we're in the last mile, we're hanging in there. And so we're going to give you and really talk about 5 things as a brand marketer that you should really be thinking about. And the first thing is it all starts with cross-screen. You know, we talk to brands all the time, and they're always saying, well, look, I've got a report from Hulu who's grading their own homework on how many impressions we got. I've got one from Roku. I got one from the trade desk. I got something over here. And then I have this whole other linear sphere where I'm getting post logs and invoices that really don't match. And by the way, I'm not sure exactly, I'm going to wait a month and a half to figure out that I didn't get the ratings that I wanted. And now either they're going to owe me make goods, and maybe I'm going to get them, or maybe I'm not going to get them. It's like a discombobulated space. And there's nothing in real time, which is the second piece, which is speed. So if you don't have speed and you don't have it measured in a cross-screen way, then you're at an extreme disadvantage, right? And the speed that iSpot and other companies in the space can get you this information in near real time is a definite game changer, especially as it comes to the streaming world where optimizations can be made in just a couple of days. Impact, what does that mean? So iSpot likes to talk about impact a lot. Like, what's the impact of this video effort? There's a lot of money and effort and energy and time put into it, but at the end of the day, outcome-based measurement and actually thinking about outcome-based measurement as currency, either as a first guarantee or a second guarantee. And I think it's important to note too that we work with every single network group as a customer as well. So we work both on the network side and on the buy side. And so iSpot has a unique place in the ecosystem where brands come to us and say, we're interested in transacting at a secondary guarantee for web visits or for store traffic or for in-store sales. And so we help brands connect with agencies to help make those transactions happen. And I would also posit that business outcome measurement and as currency is another alternative currency. So be thinking about that, particularly if you work in the e-com on the retail side. Almost lastly, I know everybody's anxious. This is actually something that iSpot has pioneered. This is called ad first measurement. And what does that mean? So I made an analogy the other day where when you buy digital, no one delivers you an entire gigantic file of web logs to then derive at some sort of rating or CPM or cost that you had to pay with that specific publisher. It's ludicrous, right? It doesn't make any sense. And this is the Nielsen methodology, where we're deriving how much you pay based on the content that's delivered. What iSpot says is that's old school. What we're here to talk about today is ad first, separating the ad from the content, particularly in the streaming world, because you really don't know what content you're going to be running in. Because you're buying audiences or you're buying geographies. You're buying that household, right? You're buying on TRPs or GRPs. So separating the ads to unlock deduplicated reach and allow audience-based buying is extremely key, and we claim and we can prove that it's much more accurate. Lastly is this concept of attention. So think about it the way that you would with online video completion rates. Are people leaning in? Are they leaning out? Are they turning the channel? Early signs of creative wear. iSpot has captured, again, attention index for your brand. If you're sitting there today and you run on TV, we have all that information. We obviously can understand whether users are tuning in, tuning out, leaning in, or kicking back. I want to provide a quick case study for Amica Insurance, longtime iSpot customer. And like you, they were all thinking about and kind of testing and learning with a lot of the streaming platforms, not understanding how much should I be putting in here, and how does that compare to my linear effort, and what's the overlap, and what's the incrementality? We have no idea. So the idea here was to understand and give them visibility into deduplicated reach and conversion rates, which is key. Second was that granular performance and the breakdown of individual publisher performance. What happened? Interestingly, or maybe not, and what we see across our platform today is in the streaming environment where the completion rates are almost 100%, right? You don't go, oh, I don't want to see this ad. Let me drop out of Hulu, go to my main page, go over here to Paramount Plus, see what's on over here, right? It's a whole different environment. So people definitely are leaning in, and for Amica, what it meant was 6x more conversion rate than their linear effort. And that also then broken down by publisher. So that allowed them to understand, if I want more performance, which platforms give me the better performance, particularly as it relates as overlap to their linear effort. I mean, we saw a slide earlier that our friends at MediaPost put up, which was a survey and showed about anywhere between 18 to 30% of brands are moving more dollars into the streaming area and less dollars coming from the linear effort. But if you don't have a good basis to understand the balance, to get the right mix, then what's the point? It could be a whole bunch of waste, and we don't know. I'd like to invite every brand here to join the Currency Initiative. And it's real simple and easy. I've got my email on the screen, or you can also talk to your agency. We work in the agency world as well. Or you can email currency@iSpot TV to start a conversation. I really want to thank you today and appreciate your time. Do we have time for any questions or no?
We don't. You're a little over. We're right on time. If anyone has questions, if you want to raise your hand, we could take one or two. Yep. 1 second. Let us know who you are.
Matt Siri at Publicis.
Hi, Matt.
Quick question. You mentioned attentiveness.
Attention, yes.
Attention, I'm sorry. How do you exactly measure that?
iSpot uses ACR technology, our own proprietary ACR technology, where we understand if somebody, because we capture the difference between our panel and Nielsen in particular is we capture everything that happens on the glass in real time. And then we marry that with our partnerships with Vizio and LG to understand that interaction between stop, start, change channel, turn it off.
Anyone else? We have time. We do have time. Just let us know who you are, where you're from. Actually, I got you right here. Take this one. Let us know who you are, where you're from.
Hey Wes, this is Wayne from SoFi, Senior Director of Media Strategy.
Hey Wayne.
We previously subscribed to iSpot on the measurement side, monitoring, not the conversion tool. But from an outcomes-based currency, how does that exactly work for new brands that have like very unestablished, conversion rates or KPIs? How do you kind of overcome that hurdle versus legacy brands that might have a little bit more history with these networks?
Yeah, what we're here to do is facilitate conversations, right, Gabe? And we connect you in. We understand what your KPIs are. What are you really looking to achieve? What are those baselines? And you're right, it is difficult for emerging brands that don't have a good baseline to understand. We also work with networks, network partners that have historical data from iSpot customers themselves that are in your category. So we do a lot of benchmarking in FinServ and insurance and auto, really any category, where we can estimate what conversion rates might be and use that as a baseline and do some modeling. And we'd love to have that conversation. All right, thank you very much. Enjoy it very much, and thanks for visiting Texas.
Thanks, Wes.